Welcome to the Real Talk Podcast, where we create conversation and community among real people about everyday issues. This is a place for you to hear truth, connect with others, and find answers to your questions. Here's your host, Alan Reed.
Hey everybody, it's good to be with you all. Today is Monday, November 29th, and whether you were aware of it or not, yesterday was the first Sunday of Advent this year. Those of you who are more from a liturgical background, you probably are very aware of that, since there is much more of a focus on a church calendar and Advent season, but probably most of you, like me, were caught off guard by this a little bit. And regardless, welcome back to the Real Talk Podcast. I'm Alan Reed, host of the show, and today we are entering into a 4-part series as we walk through the Advent season together. I know some of you are thinking, how in the world can it already be Advent week? I've still got Thanksgiving leftovers in the fridge, I know, and it has literally snuck up on us again this year. But you know what? That is what Advent is all about. It is meant to be a disrupting force, an intrusion into our normal life, and that includes our annual crazy Christmas schedules that begin the day after Thanksgiving with Black Friday. Today is Cyber Monday, then bring on the Christmas parties, staff parties, the frantic shopping, and then and only then do we finally get to the good stuff. A simple but heartwarming Christmas Eve service followed by a celebration of sorts with family and close friends. And you know, we really need to begin to evaluate how much of what we're about to repeat again over the next few weeks has anything to do with God, His kingdom, and the actual coming of Christ. And with that said, the need for Advent, we need a little disruption. And starting today for 4 weeks, we are going to take Monday mornings to remind ourselves that we live in a larger story. And Advent is a reminder of the greatest disruption of all mankind, the coming of the kingdom of God through the birth of God's one and only Son. This story is epic, it's strange, it's beautiful, it's powerful, and by design, a Christ follower, we are called up into this larger story. And because we are wanderers, and I know for myself, I am so prone to drift away from God and my own self-imposed distractions, we desperately need this disruption. An old English poet, Francis Thomas, has this great line that I ran across this week. It says, "Yet over and anon a trumpet blast sounds from the hid battlements of eternity." Francis speaks of a trumpet blast, calling us to attention, a prophetic word, a message of hope, and a promise of a better future. And way back in the book of Isaiah in chapter 9, we actually have a trumpet blast of sorts, a powerful interruption that was written for us over 2,700 years ago. That's 700 years before the first Christmas. Isaiah is calling us to attention, and he's calling us into this larger story. Let's listen to what he says. "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder. And his name will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace." Isaiah's prophetic words were certainly a trumpet blast, reminding us all that we are a part of a greater redemptive story. Do you know when we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate our rescue? Christmas is the inaugural story about the redemption of mankind. So let's remember this season, the story that we live in. And on that day, everything changed. History changed, and literally the calendar changed. If this is the beginning of Advent and it's caught you off guard this year, I just want to remind you that you're not alone, and that's okay. It's meant to be a disrupting force, a good disruption. Let's remember today, the first week of Advent, that we live in a larger story, a rescue story. And we're going to do just that for the next 4 weeks. Together, this Advent season, we are going to build a sense of anticipation, about the greatest story ever told, and we hope that you will continue the journey with us. We'll be back next Monday to talk about the fact that His ways are not like our ways. We hope you will join us.